said like because of the movie, and I'm like, why are you linking this thing? It says in the link that it's the movie. Regardless, though, I do find it kind of funny, honestly, people. Some people write about last week then, because the episode wasn't out, and even though most sources claimed it was either a movie and or Olympics, right? I find it kind of funny that they obviously wanted to not, do last week, right? Because of the movie. They wanted to do a focus on the movie, right? So my point is that people, it's because someone is claiming. So I'm just saying. Someone's like, look at this tweet though from one of the producers. They're claiming it's Olympics. Yeah, but why would he be telling the truth? You know what I mean? Am I the only one that lives like that? If any company, it doesn't matter if it's an anime company, a video game company, right? Or whatever, right? Or a weapon industry, yeah. If the company is going to tell you whatever they want you to hear, right? Please come to reality, okay? Companies aren't your friends. They want to make money, yeah. Like they're also going to tell you what they want to hear, right? So they're going to be like, oh yeah, it's the Olympics. It's not because they're trying to pad it out for the movie or something. That's not why we're doing it. I mean, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, obviously they're doing it because of the movie. It doesn't matter if the Olympics or not. They want to do that because they can make money doing that. And as I said, was it last year? Or earlier? But anyway, I did a video about that a while back about Demon Slayer, right? And how the Demon Slayer movie, as everyone knows, was money, right? And if you look at Sony's stocks, they were up a lot last year, like 50%, I guess, for the bottom with the COVID, but about like a 30%, I guess, like a normal growth. And 10% or so of that was because of Demon Slayer. The other was mostly, season 5 selling so much and so on during and the games generally, selling so much during everyone being home and so on. But still, right? Other companies see that, and then they want to make movies, right? And that's of course why this anime has been butchered, because the company is like, oh yeah, we can make so much more money on another movie, right? My Academia. That's much more worth than the anime, the actual, TV show. So anyway, let's watch the episode. But I think it's just so obvious. They're like, unfortunately, they're many reasons why this season is so badly paced and so on, right? And they change the order and everything is because they are like, oh, this is gonna increase the stock. They're like, because the owners are like, well, if the stock can go like 10% on this thing, we're gonna make a lot of money. If I have like 10 million in this company, I wanna make 1 more million, right? That's how the world works, right? So they're like, because of the stock, right? But anyway, sports games. So 3, 2, 1, and go. Recapping again. Yeah, I love this scene. I don't want forgiveness when I told no, when I forced you to like me. Yeah, good dad scene. Of course, Nia-san's out here trying to mender Nia-san. Okay, opening. Do. Man with the mission. I can say everything tell me. I think it's a decent opening, but I do agree that it probably is the worst Man with the Mission opening they've ever done, though. Like, Golden Kamuy, really good. Inuyashiki course and so on, also really good. Seven Deadly Sins, yeah, they're all better. That is true, though. They're all better. But again, though, I really want to iterate, honestly, though, like, during the opening here, right? I'm just like, seriously, people, you have to understand how the world works. I feel worried sometimes when I read people's comments. No, but I'm just like, why do you think the company is honest to you? The same thing with like how Crunchyroll and so on are like censoring Tokyo Revengers, right? And there's almost like, no, they're not. No, because like they get them censored. Like, yeah, but I mean they're obviously censoring it before they get them. Like who do you think asked them to do it, right? You know what I mean? Like, they're like, no, but they told us that they're not doing it. Technically, they're not doing it. No, yeah, of course they're not. It's not like Crunchyroll's employees are doing it by themselves. Like, you know what I mean? It's the production company doing it in Japan or whatever, right? But the question is, who asked them to do it? And I love that, because Crunchyroll tweeted about that months ago. They're like, we are not technically doing it ourselves with Tokyo Revengers. People were like, oh, see, that defends them. It's like, no, it doesn't. So, for example, right, I'm just saying, if a company tweets you that we are not doing this because of the movie, but they do want to make money, right? It's like, come on. But anyway, here we go. But you know what I mean? Like, seriously, come on, you gotta be real, man. Yeah. Ida-kun! Ooh. It's really finished. Poor Sensei, he wants to get in and be angry, right? He wants to get in there and be like, I wanna complain or something though. God damn it, man, it's my job to be an angry Sensei. Yeah, he messed. What did he talk to? Gentle criminal? Who did he meet up? I'm a gentleman now. I was like, wait, who did you talk to? It was a job for Sensei. But yeah, I saw the previous one. It's a Sensei episode, right? Ooh, yeah, they're like hot new kawaii uniform! Saki-shan! Yeah, you cut that, maybe your mom bought it. Oh, some nice fan service. Oh, look at that. Yeah, look at the Ashido with her asses. Yeah, there's some good fan service here, man. Look at that. A very Ashido focused episode, I feel, yeah. Her all my... Oh no! It's always Ashido's at the huge, you know, every time, man. Nice. Good. Yeah. It's from Deku-kun! But yeah, what a fan service episode. We're gonna have the girl fighting in the yeah, I'm just keeping it close. Yes. Yeah, not because I like him or anything. But there was some good fan service there. Could have some cute boys too though, but but seriously though, yes, yesterday, last reaction I did, right, was of course girlfriend. Same was it, right, Ayano doing Kostagasaki as Urika, and she was doing this cosplay bunny attacks. I was like, here's some more cosplay attack from more of Ayano doing cosplays. Very good, very good. New outfits, yes. And of course her mom then, and girlfriend bought her showing his muscles. Very good. So now he's like, what the heck? So he's zombified Deku. He finally defeated Deku's weakness here. Yeah, he throws something in his brain here. Yeah. Yeah, poor All Might. He's spending all his time making bad jokes. Yeah. It's not that funny, All Might. Man, this poor man is going crazy. Maybe he also got hit in the head. I can keep doing his cotton now. It's like he's spending all his time on his cotton candy. Come on, guys! I'm trying to be a good sensei. Oh yeah, so here we go. This is gonna be the episode, right? Yeah, Purezento Maiku and Erasure Head's backstory, I guess. It's gonna be like their childhood or something. Go to prison, right? Yeah. Go to the raft, baby. Well, I guess. I mean, I'm the only, but I think it's given the context, right? It's probably the one of the names or whatever, or the quirk is their friend, right? Like a childhood friend, like some other, you know, guy they knew, right? The third guy in the previous one. Certainly, one of their friends has been, you know, twisted by. Damn, President Mike, that was a good scene. It's like, calm down! And his hand is shaking there. Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm not worried. Yeah, okay, there we go. But I'm guessing like a gnome was gonna be their friend, right? Or something. Okay, here we go. Where's the lead? Talking to the man behind everything? Maybe. That's probably him. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Yes, of course, you know, he's the warp gate, but... Exactly, so, like, their dead friend or something? Sounds like, you know, a dead friend... There we go. Oboro Shiraka. I think that's the first time I've ever heard that name. Oboro. I don't think we ever had... But here we go, there's gonna be a sensei... Yeah, I mean, as I guess, right, like they're probably, you know, their best friend. Of course, he wants to be teammates, he's like, let's be friends forever, guys! Yeah. Here we go, yeah. Of course, it's like their best friend for life, right? He's gonna die, I guess, then. Well, all gonna be die then. Or get kidnapped or something. And he's the heart of the team, of course. He's the happy guy, of course. He's the, you know, yeah, he's like, yeah, come on, best friends, yeah. Of course, he's the happy guy. That's like, you know, he's the glue, of course, in the friendship. Exactly, he's the happy guy that everyone loved, right? Well, maybe he didn't die then. I'm giving me a little bit of a Naruto PTSD here, yeah. Maybe he didn't die then. As he can take dead people's quirk or something? Maybe he could, like, if you get a corpse, could he maybe take someone's quirk from a corpse, right? Perhaps, but... Given how Dabi looks though, and assuming he's like a zombie fire guy... Well, maybe he can rebuild a corpse or something else, yeah. It really can give some... Of course. Well, he wants to have the quirks that want it. Yeah, of course, it's like quirk collection. Obviously, yeah, but... So he certainly probably killed their friend then, when they were kids. It sounds like he, of course, was the one that made their friend die right back in the days then. Yeah, sounded like the use took the body. That makes that freaking normal bodies being even easier to make then, if you could take dead people. Yeah, you just take... You know, it kind of makes sense, I guess, because the quirks are kind of like their DNA, right? They kind of the biology. So you just take the body and like kind of subtract like their, you know, whatever, you know, whatever makes them use the quirk. Yeah, it's like, of course, the one Endavour thought was like a better, of course, normal with, you know, improved, yeah, like an improved, transformed. Okay, that's like a underground, some fight club, right? So probably have, of course, a better general, you know, veteran experience fighting, right? Not new gonna meet. Yeah. Well, maybe he's gonna recognize him then. I mean, maybe they can trigger his... It depends how it works. Right? If it's just like the dead body, he mightn't have any personality whatsoever from his friend, right? But if it's like the... If it actually is him and he actually never died, he could maybe... Yeah, it depends on how I feel how it works, right? Like if he actually didn't die and you just, you know, remade him, it'd be easier. If he actually did really die and you just like made his body become like a zombie, yeah, I don't know if you would know who they are. Like, oh, these are my friends. Or maybe that zombie guy would know them even better. I wonder maybe if he Yeah, so his quirk also and his quirk off. So you can of course talk to him. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, they can of course turn off his restraints because he can turn off his quirks. Basically, one thing will help here. What was the friend's quirk as a kid? Was he the haste guy? Was he the void teleport guy? Like, what is the quirk actually he had then? Which was it? Yeah, of course. Season 1, back in the days. That yeah, he always been Shigaraki's caretaker, right? He's Kanrin-chan, yeah. But that definitely has always been his thing, right? Like, he's always been there for. You think about it. Maybe the friend used to be. Yeah, exactly. Maybe the friend also used to be kind of a caretaker guy. Oh, protect kids and so on. Maybe he used to be. Yeah, maybe it's fit to remodel him to be like a Shigaraki's caretaker guy. Huh. I think it would help if they explain what his quirk was as a kid. Like, that would be. I don't have friends. That feels very much Erasure Head. I don't really want to be your friend. Yeah, he's trying to avoid him. Oh god, oh my god, he gave him the glasses. Yeah, oh my god, he's the one who gave him the. He was the one that was like, you should probably use something for your eyes. I was interesting if he remade him right to. But how did he die then? I'm thinking it would be fitting, right, if he actually didn't, which was a fake that. But otherwise, of course, the League of Villains killed him. That would be a fitting thing, right? If they were planned out to begin with. I see. So if they kick out students, they're actually dead, probably. I guess they're like, yeah, we kick out some students sometimes. Oh, it's another random students. That's nice. You see some other people with quirks, some kawaii pink kid lady, yeah. It's just an Erasure Head. He's a sensei using his methods. he's a very good. How can I reach these kids? Yeah, he's like, it's just an Erasure Head strategy. Well, I would tell them this thing, but actually, I'm doing this thing, and it's gonna really make them, become stronger. Of course. Sounds like it was All Might though. And think about it. There's a lot like All Might. Like maybe we trigger him. Oh, this is some kind of trigger on the meters here. Man, seeing Reset crying with his yeah, something triggering. Yeah, some emotional trigger. Here we go. Maybe it's gonna break through. Yeah, it's a very more... Never seen this move before. Oh man, he's really breaking his brain here. Maybe he died in those things. His brain is like a gas thing. Yeah. Well, at least he has some of his memories. Here we go. I feel he might die though, seriously, because he's like a living, like, gas guy, so if they turn off his quirk, he's like really... Okay, yeah, didn't get through. Just blocked it. But I think he almost disappeared. He's a freaking living, you know, gas thing kind of thing, right? If they... Or not? What's happening? Oh, it was like his face in gas or something? Man, this episode is getting freaky, man. Like his face is kinda... Yeah, his face is coming out from the... Might be his last memory hospital when he died. If he died. See? Am I right? He's gonna die now? So I was like, is he not die now? Because they're like breaking his brain basically? They're like, oh, he's gonna... No, okay. Yeah, they're so dry. There's no tear use left. But I mean, it might be his last memory, right? Like when he died, or you know, he injured and. But otherwise, hospital might be really create some enormous hospital. But yeah. Yeah, I feel like almost killed him. Yeah, his brain is turned off. Like you push him too hard, guys. Man. Well, a norm is like a combination of different people's bodies, right, basically, and quirks. It's like, yeah, it's like making a good, you know... He must have because he's just pretty evil. It's like, oh, it's just fun. It's just fun experimenting, right? I'm just a bad guy. No, but one thing is that they really do create powerful fighters, though. So, I mean, to get an army of bad guys. But I mean, as talked about, the Endavour Nomu he fought was clearly smarter too, so they're getting better Nomus, right? So getting better, you know. They could mean some different hospital. And then goes Hawks is involved in his double spy, you know, triple spy, quadruple spy business and all the stuff. Yeah, befriending the bad guys and so on, you know. Want some coffee? He's the best friends now with. Yeah, I want some black coffee, yeah. Great, man. Maybe Hawks tell what that means. Oh, the ultimate Nomu? Sounds like the masterpiece. Oh, yeah, so they're like turning Shigaraki into... I think they're turning Mr. Hands into... I guess they are creating the ultimate being with him, I guess. It's a really good episode. Really good episode. We're gonna review it now. It's more just preview or whatever at the end credits. But I would say one thing. I don't see how much is related to the current arc. Honestly, I'm a little bit like, I don't know how much is related to the current arc. I mean, obviously, the arc was like hospital. Oh, I see, but I don't know. You know, because like the norm part is that really involved in the whole Liberation Front guys. They're very they're like separate bad guys, right? In a way, not. I guess they're kind of combined, but yeah. This felt like it was building up the next arc or something with the normal backstory here. You just see it after any credits something, and then we read the episode after ending here. Little hawks. But I wondered the same thing with Dabi. I mean, I kept saying that Dabi looks like a zombie fire guy, right? With all the stitches. So I wonder if TOYA actually is dead then. He's ending, of course. Right? That would explain why he has all this injury, right? So if TOYA died, and then they, of course, zombified TOYA. So he's like a kind of, Nomu Dabi with personality. Sounds a lot like he has too much personality for that, though. But still, though, could be combined. Here we go. The preview. Oh, now they're gonna fight Gigant guy. And a lot of Nomus. If like next episode it'll be really like it's really gonna start, right? Yeah, next episode is really gonna be like here's an arc really starts. Like yeah, like now we're actually getting into the real business, right? Given how this season has been very slow paced, like everyone know. Like they're gonna fight the Giganta guy, right? The bad guys are gonna team up, and yeah, like next episode looks like it's that's when it's really gonna start its arc, right? After all the build up and so on, and obviously the pasting and the fillers and so on. Like is that like it's gonna actually start next week, everyone? Next week we're gonna get there. But anyway, let's review the episode. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they ever mentioned Dear Friend. I don't think they ever mentioned his Ouroboros. I don't think they ever dropped his name once, right? Maybe I missed that, or I can't remember it now, but yeah, let's talk about it. So, he was like the best friend, or Purezento Maiku, and Erasure Hero. But yeah, I don't think they ever mentioned this guy, or at all before. I have zero recollection of this character ever being mentioned. So it definitely come kind of from like a spin there. Like, oh, this is our best friend that died, and he's like a Norman now. He's actually this guy. Definitely came a little bit from his side. I will say this thing though, and I think the episode was a good episode, but I think it's fair that obviously I would prefer something like maybe not in the Naruto sense. So I'm thinking about this very similar to Naruto in that sense, but. Still, though, I would have preferred, of course, if Erasure had mentioned his dead best friend. A Kakashi kind of comment. Not like every episode, but like once or twice, maybe like 50 episodes ago. He could have been like, "Oh, you remind me of this guy or something." It would have made it better. Let's be honest, it would have made it better, right? So, for example, then I want to spoil Naruto here, but I assume everyone basically has seen Naruto, right? But yeah, Naruto, Kakashi Sensei has a dead best friend, right? And he keep mentioning that guy like 50 times over. No, but he mentioned it a few times. Or for example, in let's look at One Piece. One Piece is the best foreshadowing anime ever, right? Where it's just like, smile, man! Yeah, we like the Flamingo mentioned smile like 700 episodes before it's a thing or someone, right? And just like in Johnny and someone talks about Jinbei before he, like 400 episodes before he appears to one. Yeah, that anime, that's crazy. He's like, I have this guy. He's just crazy. That being said though, I also think that Oda has all his ideas, but if you asked him, 20 years ago, how is Jinbei gonna look? He probably couldn't tell you, right? But he's like, Jinbei, fish guy, right? And then it's like, 10 years later, this is Jinbei. So I don't think he has everything perfectly, planned out 20 years before, but it definitely is seeding out those ideas, and then he kind of, makes probably the final making later, right? That's like only the reason way to do it. But anyway, I think that's fair to say, though. Honestly, I like the episode, but I think it would be better, of course, if they had a little build-up of this guy, right? Not like overly much. You could just mention him once or twice, right? You could have been like, oh, they're friends. Yeah, like just drop it a little bit, sometimes. So it's a little bit like, yeah, here's the dead friend. It's a little bit out of nowhere. They have this very important dead friend. But yeah, villain like Kamuy is gonna be lit, man, and they have all this little spin-off and so on. Next episode is really good. We're gonna really follow the bad guys. But definitely a very emotional episode. honestly kind of I would say the most emotional this season, but probably the second most emotional episode, honestly. I think I did really like, last part with, of course, father and son, right? I mean, I like Endavour, and I think that his whole, like, I don't forgive me, but, I want to tell man, I do my best. I think that was really good. But otherwise, yeah, seeing Eraserhead just crying and so on. But that's kind of what I mean, though. I think it was like a great scene, and of course Eraserhead is a really good character. So I liked it, and it felt emotional. But I still have to say, right, from an objective standpoint, it would have been a little more emotional, right, if it went that kind of the narrative route, Kakashi's like, oh no, here's my dead friend, he's back, or my dad, whatever, or something like that, because, yeah, obviously it's very similar to Kakashi, both the character and storytelling, but you know what I mean? So I think that's my very fair comparison, right? Of course, with that anime or manga or whatever, it's overly, it's just redundantly focused on, his dead friends, right? He talks about it way too much, I would say, yeah, so there is too much, right? But a little bit, I think this was a great scene, but I do feel it lacked that, like, that final emotional touch, right? Because, I'm seeing one of my pet cats crying, he's all emotional, so it's a good scene, but because I just learned about this dead friend, I don't really feel like the emotional build-up is there, right? It's just it kind of comes from nowhere. It's like, suddenly it's very sad. I'm like, oh, he's a good character, he's sad. I still think it worked generally, but it's like, I think I was tearing up a little bit, but if I had this, again, right, the understanding of it's his dead best friend, he mentioned it a few times, right, and, it would be more emotional. So I think it's like, it's a little bit, it comes out of the left side, right, but generally it's a good scene, though. Now, let's talk about the actual, what this means, though. I think it's interesting in build-up. I got a good image of when it turns into him. Kind of the freaky, when his haze becomes, here it is, yeah. So, what does this mean, though? It definitely kind of builds up an episode, though, where they're suddenly really throwing in a lot of this Nomu explanation here. I think one thing that the Nomu part makes the bad guys a lot more potent here, right, is that the bad guys can just take dead people. I still think it's a little unclear, and I wish this episode had explored one detail. I think it's very, very important. They didn't explore at all. That was why did he die? Yeah, they didn't explain at all how he died. Because to me, it really felt like they were building up that the bad guys are attacking, the zoo because they have some good quirks. And of course, my immediate theory is that they killed him on purpose, right? Like, they were the guys that went and, of course, killed these children back in the days, right? You know what I mean? Like, they don't know that the bad guys were behind his death, right, 20 years ago, whatever. But seeing this thing, they might be like, wait a minute, was that the league 20 years ago? You know what I mean? Like, that could have been a process they could have went through, right? They completely didn't talk about that. But I felt that when I saw the episode, I was like, well, I guess the bad guys attacked him, when he was a kid, right? And that's why he died. But yeah, they really didn't explore that topic whatsoever. I think that's a little weird, because to me, they felt like this has to be it, right? They killed him on purpose, blah, blah, and so on, to get his quirk or whatever, right? So that was a little bit like, but I think it's interesting, very interesting, though, how this makes the bad guys, again, right, look a lot more potent, because they can, like just get dead people. Yeah, they can create the Nomus, but not even having to take the quirks, so to speak, right? With his power, they can actually just, like, go to the graveyard and pick up a dead body and like, I can't beat that Nomus with this thing. But it makes sense, though. When I watched the episode and I was ready to it, I was like, actually, it kind of makes sense, because many of the quirks, I guess it depends a little bit what quirk it is, to be fair, I suppose. But a lot of the quirks are like, this quirk makes you stronger, right? Like, it's like a physical quirk. This makes your DNA, grow more muscles, whatever. And yeah, it feels like those quirks, if you take us like a body, right, and you just takes the body and give it life with whatever, mad Frankenstein experiment you have, the body would actually still retain those physical attributes. Like, for example, hard skin, or like Luke Cage, or the physical strength of All Might or whatever, right? So yeah, it makes sense that their man of the quirks would work like that. Some other quirks, though, but at the same time, though, I do feel that some quirks from like a zombie body shouldn't work, I think. It depends, I guess, on what his quirk can do with the whole all for one for all. Those quirks can kind of manipulate other quirks, I guess. So maybe using his quirk, he can like take it anyway, I suppose. But from a purely like otherwise, I do think some quirks though would be feels a little stranger if it works from like a zombie body. You know, like telepathic quirks and, you know, telekinesis, they're kind of like mental quirks, like Shinsho, where it's like his brain. But I suppose that if you get the brain right, you know, if you zombify the brain, but at the same time though, isn't that what is hardest to make active? So if it's a little bit like that, where, yeah, the very physical quirks that are like, oh, this guy just has more muscles, you know, or he's like faster or something. Yeah, they feel actually pretty easy to like take the body part and, you know, give it someone else. Yeah, like because just get the DNA right and make it stronger. But yeah, still though, the bad guys can appear to take people's body parts, yeah, from the graveyard. I think it makes an interesting point though, from a society standpoint. They did talk about have to, you know, cremate the body and so on, but yeah, it feels like they have to really like make sure that if someone dies, they really have to kill them. Like imagine All Might dying. Now I guess this question is gone now, but you know, when he was famous and they took his body, right? That would be like, oh yeah, I can make, you know, I can make, yeah, shit with this thing. So it feels like the stronger the quirk is, then you really need to like delete that body, right? It's it definitely sets up that similar to like a zombie movie, right? They always like destroy your friend's body entirely, yeah, because they don't get the powers and so on, and really make sure they do that. It is definitely a thing now. But one thing this episode I think unfortunately they missed out on, and I guess I kind of just didn't go into that, is what was his quirk before? Like what was his quirk before this? They didn't explain what Oberon's quirk was. So I'm a little bit like, wait, did he have the haste power? Or what was the actual quirk? Yeah, so that I think was a little, they didn't really explain exactly what he could do before he died. I think that would have helped us as the viewer being like, oh, maybe we can trigger him if we do this thing, because his quirk could do this teleporting or his head the power or whatever, yeah. That wasn't really explained, so that's what I feel is the episode. The episode is good, but I felt they kind of went very generic with this, like, here's our dead friend. They didn't really explain what he actually did and so on, right? Or how he actually died, right? So it's a little bit like, yeah, but, can they trigger this thing? That's something, though, so that's why I keep, you know, I'm just gonna give you my general theory, like how this is zombifying works, though. But I think it's interesting again, right, because go back to that TOYA Dabi thing, I'm certain it's going to be the same guy, but Dabi looks like a zombie, obviously, with all the scars, and then we have these, like, oh, we can revive them, kinda. So is he maybe used like a revived TOYA, right? And that's why he's so evil, because he's like, he has no soul anymore when you become a zombie, I don't know. But it feels very similar. But yeah, next episode looks really good. Villain, really a bad guy episode. Finally, right? Not more. Oh yeah, we had the fan service course. We can't forget about all the Ashido assets and so on. Yeah, we can't forget the episode starts with a lot of fan service. Let's just look at it once more. The episode starts with a lot of assets. Yeah, I mean, like, this is the best part of the episode, of course. This is like, yeah. We got the Ashido buttocks, we got the shoe buttocks, we got the urakara buttocks. Very, very good episode. Like that was the best part easily. The first 2-3 minutes of just like all the girls in the, yeah, like very good. She doing some kind of, I don't know, it's like her before she puts on some part of her cosplay or something. I don't know. It's like a weird. Then of course she gets a whole lovey-dovey. But yeah, then they show Momo. It's like a weird episode of it, because they kind of like, I just do some fan service. Like here's Momo, and she's always showing her oppas, but now she has like just yeah. I'm just saying, like, this was clearly the best part where we saw the fan service. We did this then, and then after we saw Bakugo, you know, flexing muscle and so on. But I love that, like leotard and Momo and so on. Yeah, very, very good part. That was the best part. Nothing else mattered. But anyways, that's the review. Of course, today we have Tokyo Revengers, we of course have Yaya, which is really fun, and also Realist Hero, and yeah, we have Pirate Princess Fiona, which I might watch, I guess. I don't know when it's out though. Yeah, quick check, when is that, when is this releasing? See that date on that? I don't see it here in the list though. Let's take a quick check, when is it anime out? Kasuga Audio 2 episode. Yeah, it's an original anime, right, from production IG. Should be 2 episodes today, and it's out in like 18 hours, or probably like 19 hours from now. So very late tonight we got 2 episodes of this new pirate girl anime, which I'm gonna check out, of course, do like a first impression and so on, right? Yeah, but I think it's gonna be 2 episodes today though. It's a bit longer video, but it's probably almost the end of the day, given how it's like from 18-19 hours from now. Depends a little bit because they have 2 episodes, so they might drop them on the same time, or they're gonna drop them, you know, like with a wait period in between and so on. Little unsure here. But yeah, anyway, see you guys and have a great day. And I'll start in the chat before I. So they did mention him in the spin-off, okay? But yeah, obviously, yeah. So obviously the order is different, right? So yeah, the arc is supposed to be. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with this thing. Yeah, I mean, obviously the arc has been very weird, right? I mentioned it in the beginning of the movie because of the movie and so on, and it was yeah, and exactly. It shows Shigaraki getting the obviously the quirk in the end, but or you know empower him and so on. But yeah, certainly because they kind of swapped it around and. They have this thing now, and I guess I haven't read the manga, but I'm guessing right that this part is supposed to be before the Endavour thing, I guess, right, or something between that. I think it's supposed to have the yeah, they removed a lot of, but that's a good point. Yeah, they clearly have removed a lot of the villain scenes, or then changed the order, right? So maybe like next episode might have them. And it definitely makes it confusing how they have... and I mean, I say it every week, right? But I'm going to do a long review about this, of course, when it's over. But I think it's very obvious this is the worst season of My Academia, like by a long shot. With the pacing issues, the recaps, and yeah, the confusing order of episode and all this stuff, right? It's a mess, unfortunately. And it doesn't help that they have like a full filler episode and they have and so on. But I do agree with that. I mean, I mentioned early in the reaction part that I was like, this is a good episode, but it definitely comes kind of out of nowhere. I think I probably said it like 3 times. Like, yeah, I feel it came kind of like, oh, this is a good, interesting flashback, but I don't understand how it relates to the current story, right? Yeah, like how does it? I said it in the end of the reaction. It's like I don't understand how it like relates into what we're currently seeing with the liberation thing, right? Because it feels very random. It's like time to just introduce this dead best friend, and yeah, here he is. It's kind of like here's the dead best friend, and deal with it. It definitely feels like that. I mean, they still might put them in if they do some kind of flashback thing, but yeah, it's. I guess it's one thing that you also have the spin-off manga, right? So it's kind of like should also read that, I guess. I read it the first chapter, looked at it once a few years ago. I guess it's following the timeline, but they have removed. Well, I mean, I guess they're following the timeline, right? But they have removed scenes in between, so they're still following the chronological order, right? But they have removed like here should be maybe one part here and some part here, and it's kind of quicker going through it in some scenes. And also, I guess, I haven't shown the spin-off storyline and so on. But it definitely is a weirder. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the whole Endavour arc. We don't know what Hawks actually knows, so it's kind of like, yeah, we just kind of see him doing stuff, and it doesn't really mean that much. Like, it probably would be better, right? Yeah, I mean, it's not that much tension seeing Endavour figuring stuff out from the Hawks messaging. Yeah, it's a strange season. But as I said, I'm gonna review the whole thing, and one thing I will definitely do before I do the full review, I mean reviewing every you know, the whole season, right? When it's over, I want to still let it be finished, right? So next season then, in the fall, is of course to read the manga, right? I'm gonna have to go and read the manga and compare it, you know, and be that grouchy guy. The manga is much better than anime failed, but yeah, I would have to definitely read the manga and compare it. But now I'm just kind of like watching the episode and being like, well, I guess you're here. I'm gonna watch the episodes and see where it goes, right? But definitely, I'm gonna have to absolutely want to read the manga and compare it, and maybe do a manga reaction, I suppose, or whatever. But you know, something like reading the manga and of course see the differences and see how it looks, probably more intelligent or whatever, right? Yeah, so I mean they yeah, so it's like so flashback with the bag and so on. Yeah, of course. It's weird, but this art definitely misses the builds-ups, and I think, as I said again here, this episode itself felt good, but it also felt random. Like why are we suddenly doing the you know, the sensei backstory kind of thing? Can I just, oh, here we are. It's very weird. I don't think it helps either, right? That they have like the skipping a few weeks of episodes, their filler and so on. Yeah, it doesn't make it better as a week thing, right? Doesn't make it better whatsoever as a weekly watcher either. I think I said what you mean. Like the Endavour arc probably was. I'm guessing now, right? You have the Endavour stuff happening. Then you every now and then see the bad guys doing stuff in the background, but it has much more meaning. In the anime, when you see the Hawk scenes, it doesn't have much like purpose, right? You don't really feel much emotion seeing those scenes. You're like, okay, whatever. So there's no tension, right, in the background, what's happening. But it's gonna be an interesting read, definitely. You know, I feel every week I hear this stuff, right? People are always saying that, oh yeah, the manga is so much better and so on. That's usually how people say with everything, and I tend to agree. I think most mangas are better than the animes to some extent, but it's usually how it is, right? But yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting read, I feel. Very interesting read. But as I said earlier, I have absolutely no problem saying I think this is by far the worst season of Academia. I think it's just a very, very slow, very weak-paced season, and it doesn't help, of course, to have a lot of recap, you know, like just unnecessary recaps and filler episodes, and you know, a lot of this stuff at the same time. You're like, of course, nothing's happening. But yeah, there's absolutely no tension really in the Hawk and Endavour scenes in the anime. I mean, I guess you could argue there's like this very slight tension than it is in the book, but it's not real tension. You don't really feel. I guess one thing that I'm just guessing here, why it's pretty bad, is that you as the anime only guy, you have no idea like what is happening. Like in the sense that you don't understand like the time frame. I guess, yeah, you don't understand the time frame. So as an anime only, you're like, the bad guys are doing something, okay. But you have no understanding of how much time does like Endavour have on him to figure out the clues. Right? Is it like 1 hour? Is it, you know, a year? You have zero understanding of like the actual urgency of the good guys to figure out what the bad guys are doing, right? So, but I guess in the manga, of course, because they skipped a lot of those Hawk and the bad guy scenes, right? You actually would know that, okay, this shit's gonna go down in like a week from now or whatever, right? But in the anime, you're just like, it's something happening with the bad guys, and the good guys like an hour is trying to figure it out. You know? I mean, it doesn't really have that, like, there's no deadline, there's no time frame, there's no explanation of when we're actually gonna get there. I think that's, I'm guessing why that would be what is lacking, probably. Well, but that makes sense though, that they would like censor the gore, right? That is how they have it doing. Yeah, there's no real build up for the bad guys. And the bad guys are just powerful, man. These bad guys are just powerful. But on the point of the gore, I mean, that's how you have to do it in anime. Like this anime, right? This anime is airing in a very like early date and so on. They have to just kind of be like, well, you know, it's anime. We can't really show blood and so on. It's just how it is, right? Especially these kind of animes, like with the the actual how to say it, an anime like Macadamia is important when they air, right? Some animes air later and so on different dates, right? And they can have less and more censoring. It's like harder to have an anime like this anime on this air date to have blood and so on, of course, because it's more aimed at like the children with the time and so on, right? No, the anime is for children, but it's like the actual air time is more like, well, this is for younger people, so it's like they can't have too much gore and so on. But certainly I have no idea how strong the bad guys actually are. No idea whatsoever. Man, this is getting more and more confusing. Yeah, this is getting more and more confusing. Maybe I'm just ruining the experience, but I feel it's already ruined anyway, so I'm just gonna... I have not reacted to Yoyo. I am not up to date with Yoyo. Not up to date with Yoyo, man. Not at all. But yeah, I'm looking forward to watching a pirate anime. No, but I mean, it's from Production ID though. Production ID, of course, most of those are like good sport animes like Hayaku and Ballroom and so on, and Round the Wind and so on. So, you know, a very good company. Hopefully it's going to be a Unison Square Garden opening them, because they're also really good openings. But anyway, guys, see you guys later with pirate anime and what's the first thing? Realist Hero, I guess, like 10 hours from now. It's a big gap on Saturdays. It's like 10 hours break and render and so on. Be a lot of evening stuff to do then. I'm going to One Piece very late then. And One Piece, we soon have my favorite character in One Piece, right? That's going to be awesome. Yeah, and there's no remake today, but I've dropped the anime, so I don't care honestly. Yeah, I dropped remake, man. It's just I say one quick thing with remake. I say it all the time, right? Remake our life. The guy goes from being a game producer, which I have worked in real life with that, and he becomes a movie producer. He's like, oh, I changed my life so much. And I was like, that's the same job. The anime makes no sense, because his dream is he's tired of being a game producer. He wants to be more creative. He time travels back in time, and because a movie producer is basically almost the exact same job. You have to just be a producer of, creative people, and they're annoying at you, and they're like, oh, I missed my deadline and so on. It's the exact same shit, man. It's like, it's basically almost the exact same job in real life. So I'm just like, well, that guy time traveled, and he really didn't do much that time. So I'm just like, why couldn't he time travel to be an artist? He wanted to be creative, he claimed. Whatever, guys, see you with